Hello Guardians, it is Ebontis here, and tomorrow we launch the Bungie 30th Anniversary Pack. So that will be launching December 7th. Normal server reset time, shouldn't have much downtime before it either. So I think it's 9 a.m. Pacific with all the time changes now. So 9 a.m. Pacific, this will go live. What's in it? You've got a new free 6-player match-made activity. You're going to be getting some basically themed weapons and armor from all of the stuff I'm going to be talking about. So in the 6-player match-made activity is where I assume we're going to be getting some of the new weapons inspired by past Bungie worlds. There seems to be possibly a Halo-themed or skinned weapon. You've got stuff like maybe an assault rifle that may look like a DMR. We're not going to be getting like a Needler into Destiny, but we have stuff like a Needler piece of armor as an ornament to kind of pay homage to that. There's a breachload grenade launcher that looks like a wrap and kind of like a cosmetic look to the grenade launcher. Seems to be from Marathon, for example, but it's not going to be a literal weapon from those games. They're still going to have the archetypes of Destiny 2, but you're going to have looks and, maybe sounds coming from those eras of weapons and games and previous things from their history. Also coming from there will be some cosmetics that you will earn if you have the 30th Anniversary Pack. The actual 6-player match-made activity is free, but if you have the 30th Anniversary Pack, apparently there's a second chest that you'll be able to open, which seems to have some cosmetics in there. So we'll see how that goes. The 6-player match-made activity does seem to involve Xur, a horse, and a wheel of enemies. And it's everything but Scorn. So you've got Taken, Hive, Cabal, Vex, and then Fallen. And I'm guessing kind of the way when you go into Gambit and he flips a coin, you figure out what type of enemy you're going to face. This will work similar. So however the mechanics actually work, it's going to probably be just a difference of enemies that you're going to face. So I think that'll be cool, give you some replayability, won't always feel the same. And as it's a free activity for everybody's going to get to partake in that one. Now, what else is coming specifically if you own the 30th Anniversary Pack? We get a new dungeon. It is going to take place on the Cosmodrome in the Loot Cave, which if you don't know what I'm talking about, the Loot Cave is way up here in Skywatch, and there's just a little cave, and in Destiny 1 you used to be able to shoot into the loot cave. Enemies would just constantly spawn, and you would be able to kill enemies indefinitely, helping your experience, getting engrams to drop, and people kind of abused it to level up. So we're going back in there, and they basically describe it as a kind of fun place to go for a dungeon, so it's not quite as serious probably as the Death Battery of the Dreaming City. You've got a new dungeon inspired by famed Cosmodrome loot caves of yore, has drawn the interest of many a treasure hunter. Splunk into the unknown, earn the new Thorn Armor Set, and watch your step as you hunt for relics. So one of the things coming from the dungeon itself is going to be the Thorn Armor Set, and that actually looks fairly cool. I think Bungie did justice to allowing Thorn to be like kind of turned into armor, and I think all the classes did well on this one. Like the Titan, the Hunter, and the Warlock, all have cool looking armor. It's got this like spiky metallic look to it and a little bit of glows in certain places. Overall, I think the armor for Thorn looks really, really well done. And I think that'll be a cool thing to earn. I don't know if you're going to earn one piece as you finish the dungeon, kind of like you do in Prophecy. I assume that's probably how it's going to go, but you earn the Thorn armor in the dungeon. So the Thorn armor is specific to the dungeon. Dungeon is specific to owning the 30th Anniversary Pack. One thing to note about the 30th Anniversary Pack also, it is like an expansion. So wherever you buy that, that's where you're going to play it. It doesn't have like cross-buy the way Seasons do. It's going to be like if you own, Beyond Light on PlayStation, that's where you're playing it. If you own the 30th Anniversary Pack on PC, that's where you're going to be playing it unless you want to buy it again on another platform. So the dungeon will be specifically played where you own that content. Now, the other piece in this picture, which you're probably staring at, is that looks like a very fancy rocket launcher. Some of you know what that is, some of you do not, but that is Gjallarhorn. And my assumption is Gjallarhorn, which is the new exotic rocket launcher for Destiny 2, it was released to us twice in Destiny 1, but we've never seen this thing in Destiny 2, is going to be probably dropping from the dungeon, because that is the specific 30th Anniversary Pack. So I'm guessing either the quest will send us in there, or it's going to start in there, like you'll finish something, beat it, and you're going to get a pickup in there that actually starts the actual exotic rocket launcher quest. So you're going to have a quest for this rocket launcher. You're also going to have a catalyst and an ornament later on. Now this rocket launcher is likely to be somewhat strong. They can't make it game breaking because they're probably afraid of that. but also it's a very, very, like, fond memory item from Destiny 1. It's been in there twice. It's unique. It's a solar rocket launcher, fires a rocket. When it hits, it splits into mini rockets, and those will track either to other things or track back on that same target like a boss. And it used to be like the go-to weapon. When it came back in year 3, it wasn't quite as potent. I'm curious to see if like the normal version is okay and the catalyst makes it very strong. Probably not OP, but very strong. Catalyst, they may have to do that kind of separation. We'll see when the catalyst actually drops. But we will be getting the catalyst, the rocket launcher, in the ornament. I'm guessing in some way related to the dungeon, because you're going back to the times of yore, which could be like thinking about Destiny 1. So you're going back and you're looting the old cave. Could be like, you know, the schematics or something for the weapon, and you go through and do whatever you got to do to get it. But my guess is the exotic rocket launcher is coming from the dungeon if I had to put my money on anything. Just my guess. So the dungeon is going to be my priority first, because one, we need to understand how the mechanics in the dungeon work. And then I'm probably going to have a couple other people who want to play with me go in there as well. Probably going to go through it, hopefully get the quest started for Gjallarhorn, try and hammer out Gjallarhorn, and then I'll be getting you a guide on how to get Gjallarhorn. After that, I'll be working on the dungeon. Once I know how the mechanics work, I will be working on it solo, and I will get a guide for you guys out for a solo dungeon guide to explain every encounter and how to do it solo, so that will be my goal there. I don't know if there's going to be a difficulty on the actual dungeon itself. They haven't done a dungeon difficulty yet, but we also got Vault of Glass with a different difficulty for the first time as well. So this could be the first time they introduce a difficulty. Maybe that comes later as well. Maybe that's like a January drop. Who knows? But the 30th anniversary, 6-player match-made activity free to everybody. If you have the 30th anniversary pack, you'll have a second chest that will be open to cosmetics. You're going to get a dungeon, just like the other dungeons. 3 or 4 or 5 or however many different encounters they're going to have. Some mechanics in there, and likely we're going to get some kickoff or step of the exotic Gjallarhorn quest will be in there. You'll have Gjallarhorn, a rocket launcher you're probably going to want to get, and then get the catalyst as well. That will definitely be something you will be working on getting, probably in a pretty high priority after we figure out how to get it. And then outside of that, you have, with the 30th anniversary pack, the Thorn Armor, also coming from the dungeon itself, the Bungie Streetwear Ornament Set, the Marathon-themed Ornament Set, the unique helmet ornament. Not sure what that's going to be. I would make me laugh if that was actually a Spartan helmet like a Halo helmet, but I still doubt that one. Exotic sparrows, exotic ship, emblem, shaders, emotes, and all that stuff, and Eververse is probably going to be blowing up. That is basically what comes with the 30th anniversary. Now let's talk about a few other changes that are coming at the same time. Now, coming at the same time, your characters are going to feel a little bit different and function a little bit different. If you go to your subclass screen, you're going to see timers on your grenades. You're going to see like the default timer, and then if you have anything kind of changing that timer, you're also going to, it should hopefully say it in game, but you're going to have a default value for your super. And the supers are going to have different recharge times. Like different supers are going to recharge faster and slower. They went through all of this stuff last week. But the grenades, they're going to have dynamic changes on all of your abilities. So basically, your recharge for whatever you're going for may be more important. But the biggest thing is the perks that would actually help your abilities recharge. Thresh. Trying to find the one that I actually had it on. Had one, I swear. Adrenaline Junkie. I'm trying to think of what else. You've got Demolitionist. And then also Wellspring. All of those potentially are going to be a little more valuable. So when you see all weapons dropping when you're playing this new content, you might want to be cognizant of the fact that some perks that you potentially would disregard previously might be more valuable, because getting back your abilities faster may be more important if some of the ones you're going for are harder to get. So playing into a certain playstyle like Demolitionist and Adrenaline Junkie may be more important than they used to be if you like a grenade build, because now the grenade you like is slower, it hits harder, but if you really want to play into that grenade being part of your playstyle, that may be a thing. Same thing with supers, same thing with PvP. Things are going to feel a little bit different. They've even said like doing damage and taking damage is going to be how you actually recharge some of your super energy, and most of that is from primary weapons. So getting comfortable with the primary weapon is something that you might want to do as well. So things are going to feel a little different. They said PvE shouldn't feel that different. It is going to feel a little different, but they said it shouldn't feel too substantial. PvP, they were really trying to pull back the ability usage, lean heavier into the gun usage. So we'll have to see how that plays out. Also have a few exotics getting changes. So one thing I will say is when they kick off a new season, sometimes you can't get access to Destiny Item Manager, or basically any inventory management third-party app that you've got. So you want to make sure, potentially, whatever character you're going to play with, that you have any exotics that you may want to use on that character, any loadouts that you want, maybe a couple different armor sets, and then any weapons as well in your slots that you want to have access to them. Potentially, if we have champions, you're going to want Barrier, Overload, and Unstoppable options. So, I mean, you can switch up your mods, but Arbalest is now going to have Barrier as an intrinsic thing. This is something I'm excited to use. You've also got, you know, Overload could potentially be in there depending on what you're fighting in which activity. You may want to bring out your Ticuu's Divination, your Trinity Ghoul. If you're going into PvE stuff, those are both great for clearing depending on what shields you need for Overload. Obviously, linear fusion rifles right now are very powerful, but linear fusion rifles are going to get another buff, so they're going to be even stronger. Something like Sleeper Simulant, if you go to exotics, is getting another 6% on top of that to really set it apart. So Sleeper, going to be very, very powerful. Whisper, they're changing the way the exotic perk works. So now, instead of pulling 3 shots, if you hit 3 precision shots, it would pull 3 from your reserves. Now it pulls 2 from reserves and 1 from thin air, so your reserves are going to last longer if you can hit those triple precision shots. Darcy, getting a damage boost, I think, of like 20%, and this thing has massive reserves, so maybe a sniper rifle like this is going to be something that's going to hit like a truck and allow you to have a lot of ammo on reserve. Leviathan's Breath is getting Catalyst, just Archer's Tempo. I don't think that's going to be that great. Anything else to think of that I can imagine? Kinetics, you've got Suros. They're going to be making dual speed receiver better. I've gone through all of the stuff in previous TWABs, but there are things that are going to potentially be a little better than they used to be. So you might want to go review the TWABs, review any of the videos I've done, kind of breaking out what's going to happen to exotics, the way abilities are going to recharge. The biggest thing is don't throw away something that has Thresh on it. Maybe Thresh will potentially now be good if you're smashing a bunch of enemies and you get your super back much faster with Thresh versus any other option that could have a little more weight to it. Same thing to Adrenaline Junkie or Demolitionist. If grenades are feeling slower, these perks may have a little more value to them. So just things to keep in mind as you go through. If you need any currencies, I do have a video for you guys for getting prisms, cores. Make sure you guys check that one out. I'll put a card up in the description right now, or so you can see that one. You'll see that in the description. But just kind of pay attention to what's dropping. Things may be better than they used to be. Try and prep your character today. Just like move stuff out of the vault. Make sure it's on your character. So if you're in an activity, you've got most of the things you want on you, so you don't have to do a lot of switching in case Destiny Item Manager and stuff like that is down until that stuff comes back up. So if you're trying to jump in early, that's important. And then other than that, have fun tomorrow. A new dungeon is always an exciting time. New 6-player activity with new cosmetics, new weapons, new drops. That should be fun. And then obviously a new exotic quest. I will get you guys that video as soon as possible. But that's pretty much everything coming for tomorrow. Try to give you guys a quick recap, things to think about, things to pay attention to tomorrow, and just give you hopefully a priority of what you're going to do first. If you guys did enjoy this video, follow me on Twitter. That's where you guys will see where I'm streaming when I am streaming this stuff. Probably going to be on Twitch, so as I upload YouTube, I'm not kind of cannibalizing both. On Twitch, it's Ebontis, YouTube, or Twitter's Ebontis, and then right here on YouTube, make sure you guys hit that sub button. I know a lot of you have not. Actually, I can usually tell. So if you guys haven't subbed yet and you enjoy it, please hit that sub button and the alert bell. That'll help my future videos like the Gjallarhorn quest guide make it to you. And then if you want to support me directly, you can join the channel as a member after you sub, or find my Patreon in the description below. Thank you all very much. I'll see you tomorrow. Should be a fun day.